All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome to Tuesday. Hope you're doing great. This is December 12th. We have a couple of things going on. The new moon in Sagittarius, 6:32 p.m. Eastern time is going to be its height. So Eastern time, 6:32 p.m. We also have Mercury in retrograde happening at 3:09 a.m. on the 13th. Okay, so these are all Eastern time zones, and that Mercury in retrograde is in Capricorn. So we're gonna tap into those energies a little bit for this reading. I really want to get a sense of what's going on for you guys. Blank slate, right? Blank slate. Whatever messages want to come through. Let's see where we go. Let's see where we go. All right, let's see what's happening here. View from above. Get the big picture. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And great adventure. Take a risk, venture forward. This is very Sagittarian energy. This is very Aquarian energy, view from above. And this is the link. This is the Capricorn link about what are you doing in real time, in real life, for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. So what's being asked of us right now is to get the big picture of what's going on. What is happening for you right now in sort of, not just in your own kind of life, but in the lives of your family, and then your community, and then your state, town, country, globe, right? It's time to really understand what's going on this planet. And a lot of you are talking with me about intuition right now. In 2024 for Pathfinders, I'm going to start an intensive, I don't know, it's not a workshop, it's an ongoing kind of thing about understanding our own intuition, especially in the age of AI, especially in the age, the internet age, which we've been in since 2008, since that energy really shifted. We had Pluto moving into Capricorn in 2008. I'm going to say 2012. Okay, but some of you might have felt it in 2008, where the internet really started to pick up steam in the teens and the 20 teens. And here we are now with Pluto getting ready to move into Aquarius. So like, what have we learned from this past 15 years? How have you anchored yourself in maybe a reality that doesn't even exist? It's sort of like we have these whole lives online, right? These whole lives on our Facebook feed and our Twitter feed. It's going to be Twitter to me forever. And other platforms, right? I know a lot of you through this platform. And how is that impacting our ability to gain true guidance for ourselves? Because that's the thing I hear most often when people come to Pathfinders and we do our lives on Wednesdays. If you are part of that, then you know the questions. You've heard people ask the questions. How do I know if? How can I be sure this is true guidance? How can I make a decision to move to another country, to quit this job? How can I make those decisions? And I feel like that's what we're going to start working on with this view from above. We're going to look really at what it feels like to gain true guidance. What is that experience of gaining true guidance? How do we then anchor it in our real lives? Time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. How can we trust our intuition to know if a person is a good person for me to date or marry or divorce? How do we know that? And then can we set sail for some kind of new great adventure, armed with the capacity of our ability to discern guidance from fear, from groupthink, from what others want us to know versus what is true for us. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in 2024. Pathfinders, you guys are awesome, and I really want to elevate that experience for you. Okay, So let's see where the reading takes us now. That is very interesting. It lays out like Aquarius, Sagittarius, and in the middle is that Capricorn. So Capricorn, we are going to be experiencing between now and January 20th, like a shaking of the ground that's under us, or an awareness of like what's real and what's not. And I'm going to say, like, if you're really plugged into your intuition, a lot of you guys on my channel are healers and teachers and guides and mystics and shamans. A lot of you know that. And in this age of where we're plugged into all kinds of information, some misinformation, some disinformation, and you know how triggered people get around different conversations, around global happenings. Like, how are you being herded into a certain belief system around something that's showing up? And can you just pull yourself back into your own guidance and understand how it's related to you, what you truly are guided to, not to think about it, because that's a mind thing, and this is not a mind thing, this is a feel thing. And what is true for you and your calling and your mission on this planet. How to not get like knocked off your wobbly structure, right? So underneath is the Eight of Cups. I'll be talking about this continually now. I wanted to say this before Mercury goes into retrograde, which happens as I'm doing this reading. It's not going to happen until tomorrow morning at 3:09 Eastern time, like I said. But in that Mercury retrograde time, this is a really good time to anchor yourself in what's real for you and what's not real for you. Because when you do that, when you learn how to gain your own sense of what's true, what's not for you, what's a true reality, what's a fake reality, or a reality that is contrived to trigger you in some way, how can you, it's really good to be able to know that Mercury retrogrades may not have such a big impact. And I've always had this real strong goal to be able to help to empower you to use the energetic signatures, the energetic expressions of what's going on the planet, how astrology works, how our archetypal experiences work. Tarot is very archetypal. It's like we plug into these stories of who we believe we are and who we are expressing ourselves to be. But then we come up against a big decision and we go, is this true for me? Is this a good decision for me? Or am I looking through the lens of what I want to be true, right? What I am expressing. So you can talk about that. And it's like, okay, I would just like to get true guidance and then do with it what you will, right? So that's what we talk about on this channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. The Eight of Cups, the Judgment card. I'll talk you through this in a second. Six of Swords, another moving on card. Fool. Wow. Fool. World. And the Empress. High Priestess, baby. This is, High Priestess. Wow. We're talking. Okay. I can't help myself. All right. So I'll talk you through this for a second. This is really, it's absolutely what I've just been talking about. This is about walking toward a crossroads. The cards underneath are things you may not see coming. We are walking towards a major crossroads as a collective, but also as an individual, right? This Six of Swords and the Fool. This is the collective experience, the Eight of Cups and the Judgment card. This is the individual experience or the relational experience of walking toward a new path. Either way, door closed, door open, door closed, right? So where are we going here? This is the divine feminine really stepping into a blended nature of a 3D reality and a 5D reality. The divine feminine energy in all of us, it's not about gender, right? Everybody has divine feminine and divine masculine. We are really stepping into that blended nature of true intuition and anchoring it in a life that is based on true intuition and not on being jerked around by other people's agendas or anything like that. The Chariot and the King of Cups. Here comes the masculine. Here comes the masculine. Because don't forget, those who identify as divine masculine, those who are, you can talk about men But I'm not really talking about gender. I'm talking about someone who really leads with their 3D life as opposed to their spiritual life. That's more of a divine masculine. They are the physical twin. The spiritual twin is the divine feminine. And so the divine feminine is anchoring their spirituality in a 3D expression. The masculine is following. The feminine is leading now. The feminine is leading now, and actually has always led, because think about it in terms of relationships, right? Like there has to be a desire on the side of the divine feminine for any gas, for it to go anywhere. The masculine puts effort in, but if the feminine's like, nope, then it doesn't go anywhere. And the feminine desire impacts the masculine whether or not they're putting effort in. Okay, because the spiritual world, that spiritual nature of connection, I am talking about twin flame, but I'm not. Also, I'm talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, which exists over and above what we talk about as twin flame. Okay, that is a specific mission and purpose for a certain group of people who are identifying as that. And it has come through. And I feel like some of you are going to be validated with your spiritual practice. We talk about anchoring a spiritual practice, and really I've talked about this all the time in Pathfinders about my own practice of meditation and tarot, early in the morning before the world starts moving here on the East Coast. And that helps me anchor in my day. And when things show up that are outside of me, that are energetic expressions, it's up to me to discern whether that's guidance or that's manipulation. Okay. Now let's see what's going on here. Queen of Cups. I'll show you the cards. Queen of Cups, Temperance, Hermit, Lovers, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords, Queen of Swords, Four of Wands, Five of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. So what I'm getting here is that there is a very spiritual connection coming together. The Queen of Cups, here's the Temperance card in the middle, the Queen of Cups and the Hermit. So the feminine energy here can be expressed as the Queen of Cups, which is, all of the queens together are the Empress. So the feminine is really expressing herself, and I'll use pronouns like that because that's it's gonna be easy for us to understand instead of me doing a lot of other stuff. Queen of Cups and the Hermit. This is about expressing oneself through a energetic signature, right? This is Archangel Michael bringing the feminine and the masculine together. The masculine seeing the wisdom of the feminine's energy. We are in this space of potential, right? Potential and love and guidance and sharing and initiative. And these words are just coming through. And I feel like the masculine pushes back a little bit. Okay. I feel like the masculine pushes back, or rather not the masculines that are open and available to their true intuition, but those who aren't, those who resist spiritual connection, those who want things on the planet to be a certain way. And if it's not going their way, they block. So if you have, okay, so let me just say this to you. We all have ideas of who we are. Right? We identify with these archetypal experiences, which is very the foundation of tarot, right? It's Carl Jung's the super unconscious, right? The collective unconscious. And we identify with certain roles. Let's just say mother, father, smart, smart and savvy, someone who's married, someone who's single. These are archetypal experiences. Someone who's book smart, someone who's street smart. These are archetypes. There's also the trickster. There's also the magician. And those two are kind of bound up together, right? Trickster and magician are those who kind of work with illusion. And you can have a positive or negative on any of these things, right? You can see single as being horrible, or you can see it as being free. You can see married as being secure and safe, or it can be a trap. How are you seeing these archetypal experiences for yourself? And if you identify with one of these archetypes more strongly, intuitive, right? And intuitive. And if you identify with one of the archetypes so strongly that you do not let in any information that may cause you to grow that, I'm going to say grow that archetype. Other people might say smash that archetype. If you do not let any information that comes to you intuitively about like, I really want this person to be the one, but red flag after red flag after red flag, but you ignore it because that's going to smash this archetype for you. So, hey, did you see those red flags? I ignored them because I wanted that archetype of perfect partner to be true for this particular person. Okay? Or you could constantly be giving a negative archetype to somebody, right? A negative archetype of, bitch, or somebody who is controlling, organized, right? You can constantly give a negative archetype to another person, and anything that comes through that is positive about that person, you smash it. So what I'm saying to you is your intuition must be fluid and growing and removing all kinds of value judgments based on good or bad, right? If you remove value judgments from things, then you can grow. If someone who lives their life as a function of judgment, right? This is their archetype. This is their value. That what they value most is being able to judge right and wrong. But if it flies in the face, if something is turned around for them, where they thought this person was good and virtuous, and that person ends up doing something super negative, they'll ignore it. And that's how you ignore your true guidance. So it has to be clear sight. It has to be clear sight. And, I feel like this is interesting, this Four of Wands and this Five of Pentacles. Now, some of you are attracting in, lovers, attracting in a partner who may be spiritual in nature, but is not embracing that, is pushing that aside. That's not who they are. They feel like it's bad, or they feel like it's something that will destroy their life. Right? It's something that's not who I am. They don't believe that that's who they am. There can be this sense of struggle. Now, this could be you struggling to let go of a person who has shown you that they are not for you. They've given you red flag after red flag after red flag. And it's like, okay, I get the guidance. I get it. And so then there's this Queen of Wands, this Four of Wands about like, what is the thing that I most want? Who is the person that I most want? And kind of suspending your disbelief about the physical expression of this person. It's got to be this person, or I'm not going to be happy, or or it's going to destroy my whole kind of outlook on everything. So I want to say to you that I feel like some of you are are paying attention to some red flags right now. You are paying attention to some, a connection of yours, and you are integrating the wisdom of that red flag awareness. You are able to say, you know what? I might have been wrong about that person. I really wanted that person to be my person. I might have been wrong about it. I might have been wrong about that job. I might have been wrong about this. And the more you can track your own decisions and be like, was this a positive, or not even a positive? Because sometimes we get information that is hard to hear. And it does, create some kind of difficulty in our lives. But in the big picture, right choice. Hard, but right choice. So let's clarify this, because the Five of Pentacles is here. So I'm going to clarify this Knight of Swords, Three of Swords, death. I know, Charlie, right? Death, Three of Cups, Five of Wands, and the Sun card. Some of you are noticing like the energetics of a third party is something that is excused because of who the person is. And I almost feel like that's something that you're aware of now, that it can only be I can't say the word positive, right? It's hard in this binary world, right? We have a kind of black and white thinking about things. Like if someone's bad, they're always bad. If someone's good, they're always good, which doesn't really exist. And I feel like there's something here about saying no to a situation that is low vibe. Recognizing the frequency of something that is expansive, that's what you're looking for. So not really good or bad, a frequency of a message that can house some information that is like, can still have the energetic expression of being good in the long run. And the same thing in the reverse. You may have somebody who is coming toward you that may look pretty haggard, that may look pretty rough. But can you see the core of that person? Can you see the true humanity, the love, the frequency expression of that person? So it's almost like turning upside down to follow your guidance. You're turning things upside down now, which is great. Hanged Man. It's just great because what you're doing is you're looking for the frequency. You're not looking for the 3D expression of the person. Okay? So please clarify this Four of Wands and Five of Pentacles. Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, Devil energy, and the Page of Wands. This person, this could be you, basically saying, I can't upend a particular thing in my life because then people will see me a different way. If you have this kind of energetic, or no, not even energetic, because energy doesn't lie, right? But this whole like facade that you've created, right? People who have strong shadow typically also have strong presentation. They really want you to get it, that I am beautiful and virtuous and kind and all of these things. And then there's a strong shadow that goes with that, right? There's a very strong shadow. So I feel like you're starting to see Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, Devil energy. It's possible that you or a person you know has fallen in with someone who looked good on the outside, but has a real shadow aspect to them. It doesn't make them bad or evil or anything like that. It's just an expression of their journey. It's something for them to learn from. And the more they resist, things show up. Body keeps the score. The more they resist, the more they use substances to push it down, or the internet or whatever it is to shove. The louder it's going to be. It's like a beach ball underwater, right? Poof. So the louder the shadow is, the more people try to keep it under wraps. I want you to think a certain thing about me. If you ever hear somebody saying that, like they want a specific brand, and they'll do anything to keep that brand front and center. They want to have people say, oh, well, that person is so fill in the blank. That person is so smart. That person is so kind and generous. They're always giving to, charities and always giving to other people. And then you find out the flip side is true, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? You find that the flip side is true. So when someone goes, I always get a spidey sense tingle when someone is really focused on me thinking of them a certain way. When someone is really focused on that, I'm like, bullshit. So some of you are dealing with this right now, and I feel like the reason it's here is it's bringing a test. So the Page of Wands, you could be dealing with a person who is struggling with their shadow. You could be struggling with with your shadow or their shadow. There's definitely something about that, and this is about a decision. Do I trust myself? Do I trust my intuition here? Is my intuition saying to me, even though it looks like this person is not capable, Five of Pentacles, not, maybe there's something going on in their life, whatever, do I trust my intuition about a job, about a moving situation, about a potential love partner? Do I trust myself? And what do I do if I have this like amazing, like that's the right one? They may be going through a set of circumstances that look super messy and look like this is not a good thing, but in your heart, this is the right person. This is not a whitewash thing. This is not you telling yourself, oh, it's okay, they'll be fine, there's nothing wrong here. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. Once they're fixed, they'll be better. Once they change, they're going to be my person. How are they working through what's going on for them in their life? How are you working through what's going on for you in your life? That's all directly tied to the frequency that you give off. And the more that we move through the age of Aquarius, since 2012, it's going to get increasingly harder and easier. Those people who are really, really aware of their intuition and work with it every day, AI will not fool you. You'll be able to get guidance. You'll be able to right yourself when everything seems upside down. Okay? You'll be able to do those kinds of things because we're going to get into a time here where there's going to be a huge swath of people that don't know the difference because they can't read energy. They can't read frequency. They can't tell. And that's going to be a really weird thing. I think we're also going to have a time, we're going to also go through a time. So there's this whole like down is up feeling, but we're also going to go through a time where those with really intuitive senses are the oracles, are going to be the oracles. We can't trust some very Aquarian, Age of Aquarius structures to tell us the truth, because they're still back in their time of the Age of Pisces, where individualism, I get mine, you get out of my way. Like if I get more, that means you get less. The lack mentality, all of that is very Age of Pisces. Okay, we're now moving into the Age of Aquarius, where we're able to see, but only those who are plugged into their intuition. So it's not about being part of a certain tribe. You don't have the ownership of the truth being a part of a certain tribe or a certain culture, a certain country, no. It's all going to be about your ability to be plugged in to your true guidance. That is connecting you to source. It's all going to be about that. So this seems like a story that's kind of gotten massively bigger, mostly because of what's going on here. These kinds of cards, the Eight of Cups and the Judgment card, the Six of Swords and the Fool card. We have the World, the Empress, the Chariot. Like those are big cards. We've got the Hermit and the Lovers. And massive change, death and devil toward the sun. Let's see where we go with this. I'm going to pull some cards for each sign to give you some guidance on your own. What we do here with tarot is about you trusting your intuition to tell you what message is for you. That's what we're doing on this channel. So when you watch a reading and you're like, I'm not grabbing onto any of it, it doesn't make sense to me, it's just not for you. Okay? It's for somebody else. And that's how this works. So you see people in the comments, they're like, oh, that didn't resonate with me. That's wrong. It's like, no, it's not for you. Okay? All right. And the more you can discern what is for you and what is not for you, the better off you're going to be in the next 20 years. This is going to be a 20-year cycle. So look for Pluto, the final degree of Capricorn, shaking people, shaking structures. And you'll be able to go, that's not real. That is real. That's not real. This is real. Okay. Link is below if you want to continue on Pathfinders. We're just going to keep going. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.